What up and welcome. And today we are talking about why your young athlete is not achieving breakthrough as a serious athlete at the high school level. Why your young athlete isn't achieving breakthrough. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do a little experiment as we get started today. Go and take a poll of somebody you know who's a trainer, someone who you know who's a coach, and someone who you know who is a former successful athlete. I want you to ask them, what's the one thing that most athletes are missing in today's sports landscape? And I guarantee you, they're going to tell you it's right here, what's between the ears. It's the mindset piece. It's the toughness. It's the grit. It's the ability to apply what they know. And guess what? As a parent, you probably already know that. You already probably have identified the difference between yourself as an athlete, or even if you weren't an athlete, athletes in your era who went outside, played with older players, played against bigger brothers and bigger sisters and older people. And we kind of had a tendency to figure things out. We didn't know a whole lot. We weren't nearly as skilled as this generation, but we did have street smarts. We did have the ability to apply even things we didn't know. We did have the ability to fake it till we made it. Today's generation lacks that ability. The reason why I bring this up is because we're in week 13, and I will, brush my shoulders off a little bit and say we've been dropping some straight fire, some heat from week to week to week. If you are taking the time to watch, you're getting gems out of this content. So what I'm saying is, if you as a parent know that 99% of all athletes in this era struggle with the mental side of things, why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you doing something other than yelling or being complacent? And on top of what we know about young athletes and their deficiencies, there's the ultimate caveat is in that the deficiency of all children to parents. That dynamic is we don't listen to our loved ones. So you may have all the knowledge of the world. You may know exactly what your young athlete needs, but guess what? They ain't listening to you. That's why you need another voice. That's why you need another person in your corner that's saying basically the same things you're saying. So go back and watch some of these videos, begin to share them with your young athlete. Make them watch them one day a week, 15 minutes. It's better than doing nothing. It's better than hoping that they get it one day. Drill, just like you do with the skill work. Now let's do that with the mental work, okay? And that leads to our bigger point today, which is why most athletes aren't achieving breakthrough. And I want to get granular. Obviously, the mindset's a big piece, but I want to talk more specifically about why your young athlete hasn't achieved, has yet, because they will, but why they have yet to achieve the breakthrough that they desire and that you desire as a parent. First and foremost, let's talk about what breakthrough means. Breakthrough is simply defined as you are discernibly better in any specific area of your game year after year after year, or month after month after month, or quarter after quarter after quarter. I'll give you an example. A lot of my clients come to me 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in, and they'll say, this is a completely new player. Like, he's handling the ball more than he's ever handled the ball. He's getting downhill more than he's getting out downhill. He's more vocal on the court. She's a better shooter. Like, something in their game has completely changed. That's what I'm talking about, breakthrough. And beyond that, Your status as a player should be changing as well. You should be going from a role player to someone who's a starter. You should be going from someone who's a starter to someone who's a star. You should be going to someone who's a local star to someone who's a regional star. You should be culminating with accolades and achievements and others recognizing your prowess as a player. This is what we want for our athletes. And this is honestly why they're putting in the work. This is why we grind. But as I always say, before you develop your grind set, you have to develop your mindset. So let's talk specifically, now that we've defined breakthrough, let's talk specifically about why so many athletes aren't achieving it. This one's simple, guys, but it's actually not as simple as you think, because it starts with commitment. It starts with consistency. But there's a specific type of consistency that you're lacking. Yeah, you're doing all the right stuff. You're on the teams, you're doing the training, but this is something that I like to call a creepy consistency, because number one, it creeps up on you. Have you ever seen the person who comes into your office every day and they're packing the lunch and they've got the specific diet and they're walking the laps at lunch, or they're stretching at their desk, or you see them getting out early so they can go get a run in or go hit the gym? These people have become so consistent in their exercise, in their physical fitness, that it's creeped up on them. They've taken a new level of consistency that if you ask them a year ago, 3, 5 years ago, they would never think that they would care to that level. But it's creeped up on them. Just like Kobe Bryant used to say. He said, I started getting up at 4 o'clock and training from 5 to 6:30. And then I noticed I could also get another workout in from 11 to 12:30 before practice. And then he said, I'd go to practice and I noticed I could get another workout in maybe from 4 to 5:30 or 6 to 8, whatever the case may be. And before you know it, he was getting 4 workouts a day in. We have the ability to creep up in our consistency. But here's the caveat. We have to care enough to creep up in our consistency. The other thing about creepy consistency is just what the word implies. It's creepy, right? Other people are like, why? That is so weird. Like, you get up at 4, like you stay after practice, like you run extra laps. Like it's creepy to others because it's unexpected. It's original. It is so different from the norms that it causes you to level up, quite frankly. And too many of us, and I'm not even going to put it on the athletes, I'm going to put it on a lot of this being the parents that lack this specific type of consistency that it takes to go from good to great. Yeah, there's a consistency that is involved with getting to the good level. You're above the recreational level. You're showing up. You've got multiple events and, like I said, trainings and practices and competitions, and you're traveling throughout the week and throughout the month. However, when it comes to that real level of creepy consistency, you're not quite there yet. How do I know? Because I'm there when it's, oh, Billy has a cold tonight, or he's got homework in the morning, or Joanne, she just wants to go to her grandparents' birthday, and so on and so forth. Before you get mad, there's nothing wrong with that thing, with any of those things. And all kids need breaks. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when your ability to make excuses becomes as consistent as your ability to show up to do the actual work. Okay? Try this. Let's create a crazy momentum. Let's begin to contain excuses. The things that before you type that message to your child's coach or your child's teacher or your child's trainer or your child to say, hey, we're not going to be able to make it next week. We're not going to be able to get there tonight. Just think, is there a way he could possibly do that? Is there a way she could possibly do both? Could we go to the training, bring a change of clothes, hop in the car, drive straight to grandma's and miss the first 30 minutes, and voila, we've accomplished both things. I can talk to you about how crazy my consistency was as an athlete from the time I was a sophomore in high school and joined my high school team to the time I was 30 years old and joined law school, started law school. So you're talking about 10th grade in high school through high school, college, and a 6-year pro career, 7-year pro career. For that 14-year period, I didn't attend one Thanksgiving. I didn't attend one Christmas with my nuclear family because my family is from Mississippi and we lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my parents would go to Mississippi every single Thanksgiving, every single Christmas without fail to spend it with their family. And you know what Jason did? Jason was told to stay home by himself and to continue to be consistent at his craft because this was the time of the year where we had tournaments and practices and games. And no, you're not going to miss. You're going to go. I can't tell you, I can't remember a time when I skipped a workout. I can't tell a scheduled workout. Now, there may have been times when it's like, hey, we're taking this week off. That's already been planned on the calendar. But I can't tell you a time when something trumped my dream, like what I say I want to be great at. And that's the level of consistency we have to begin to at least get in the stratosphere of, okay? So here's a challenge for you, a consistency challenge. Try committing to your schedule for 8 straight weeks. For 8 straight weeks. Don't miss a training. Don't miss a practice. Don't give an excuse. If there's homework and there's a big test due tomorrow or big test tomorrow or a big report due tomorrow, stay up late, get up early, learn how to manage these different facets of life because it's what you're going to have to do as a college athlete. It's what you're going to have to do as a pro athlete. It's what you're going to have to do if you own a business one day or you have kids one day or you have an important job one day. It's called life, okay? And we all as adults know the difference between those employees or those people those professionals rather on our job who call in sick all the time, who always have an excuse for why they can't make it, or who always are making a big deal when they do make it. Like, oh, I was up until 10 last night working on this month's expense report. That's your job. Thank you for doing your job. And so we have so many athletes that come and they tell you what they've done. Oh, today at practice was a really hard day. You're coming in with the mindset of excuse. You're coming in with the mindset that's causing you to lack consistency. If this is what you do, if you're about this life, this is what you do. Because guess what? You're only going to do it for a short time. I just mentioned 14 years. Yeah, that sounds like a long time. That time went like that. And you know what? I have enjoyed Thanksgiving and Christmases with my family ever since. But I'm thankful for that time when I really went into my grind because it grew me as not only a person, but also a player. The next thing I find that most athletes are lacking that keeps them from breakthrough is creativity, okay? And again, going back to my example of the fact that so many young athletes don't get the chance to go outdoors and learn the game organically. They're in these bubbles, in these vacuums, like creator players. Have you guys ever played NBA 2K back in the day, and you could create your own player? And this is what our players are like today. They're like created in labs, and they play against cones and chairs and trainers with fake defense, and they get in real games, and they lack creativity. I remember one of the most indelible moments of my high school career was after I had already achieved breakthrough. And I think I was a junior, maybe even a senior. And I had averaged over 20 points a game for quite some time. And I hit this streak where I couldn't get over 20. Like I just hit what's now, if I look back at it, probably was a 3 or 4 game streak where I was just struggling for my standards. And you know what my parents did? And it was funny because I got old school parents. God bless my parents. But they actually went out and bought me a new video game console. I don't remember if it was Sega Genesis at the time or Nintendo Switch. I don't remember. It was the newest one at the time. But I had gotten to an age where I hadn't gotten away from video games, but my video game actually broke. But because I was more mature, I wasn't really tripping on the fact that it broke. So it wasn't like, oh, I got to get a new video game. So I let a couple months go by without having video games. And you know what my parents said? And again, these are old school parents. They don't like spending. They anytime they get the opportunity to not spend $100, they're going to take that opportunity. And so the fact that they were very intentional and willing to spend this money. And what my dad told me, he said, you've lost your creativity. You used to get on that video game and be up all times of night. I could hear you in there falling in love with the game. And now you don't have that. You've stopped watching basketball. You've stopped doing all these other things. And it turns out he was exactly right, because I went back to becoming creative and dreaming and enjoying the game. Ultimately, we are all human beings, and our largest capacity is to create. We're all here to create something. We create other human beings. We create works of art. We create businesses. We create ideas. We create cuisines. We create homes. We create. Look around. Look what's in your room. What's in your eyesight right now? Something that was created. And we are all meant to create. And guess what? Basketball is a great form of expression and creation. And that's why we got to give our athletes the opportunity to express themselves through sport. They're all going to be a little different. But so many of us have stopped creating because we come up in these vacuum, pristine situations where a trainer's going to tell us exactly what to do, or our parents going to tell us exactly what to do, or a teacher or a coach or somebody's going to instruct us. There's got to be a component that the player has all on their own. Okay. And that's why I'm a big proponent of, you've got to be getting in the gym by yourself, even if it's just to shoot free throws and shoot off balance shots and throw up some one-hand runners. Like you've got to have some time where it's you versus you as an athlete. And so encourage your athletes to do these things. Encourage your athlete to get in the gym by themselves, or go on a run by themselves, or play a video game, or go watch someone play, because this is going to inspire their creativity. Lastly, what I see from many athletes who are lacking breakthrough is a lack of consciousness. And this is just, you don't know what you don't know. We've got those players who are just unaware that they maybe lack a certain skill, or unaware that they lack a certain level of aggressiveness, or unaware that there's their level and then there's high level players level. Like they have they have no awareness of their overall ability in the grand scheme of things. And so that's what trainers are for. That's what your tribe is for. And no matter what, you've got to get a truth teller. You've got to get somebody who can sit you down. First of all, a truth teller is someone that you trust. And let's dive into that word trust, because you should trust somebody who's been there. You should trust somebody who's got a pedigree. You should trust somebody who has accomplished something you want to accomplish. Then allow that person to give you some truth. And that could cover a whole range and variety of people. But as a parent, one of the biggest things you can do is find these type of people and get your kids around them. And guess what? Let the truth prevail. Let the truth prevail, okay? Because so many of you as parents, and I see it all the time as athletic directors, you get around a coach who has a certain pedigree, they've done things, they've won championships, they've produced great players, and they tell your kid the truth, and you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want it when the truth slaps you in the face. In the words of Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. And honestly, parents have a problem with that just as much as players do. Okay? So get a truth teller, listen to them, trust them, then listen to the truth that they're giving you. And you will be one step closer to achieving tremendous breakthrough. Okay. So as always, let's end today with focusing on our meditation minute. This is the time where we learn the skill of application. We learn the skill of seeing ourselves, not where we are right now, but where we ultimately want to be. This is a skill that will unlock the ability to apply the things that we know. This is a skill that so many student athletes are missing. This is a step that so many student athletes are skipping because they think, I just get the skill. I just want to get the skill and it'll come out at some point. Well, some point is when you come to a level of consciousness where you realize as a player, this is who I am. Like I'm no longer practicing pretending to be this player. I'm no longer playing this role in my mind. I am this person. And because I am this person, this is what this person does. Whether it be lead, whether it be shoot the ball at a high level, whether it be handle the ball, come downhill, be aggressive, talk, play hard defense. These are all concepts that start in our minds. So what am I saying? The meditation minute is probably our most important facet that we do. So much so that we've added player athlete meditations on our YouTube channel that I hope as a parent, you will encourage your student athletes to listen to. So without further ado, let's get into our meditation minute. And we always start off with some deep breathing and some internal thinking. What does breakthrough look like for you as an athlete? What is it that if you couldn't fail, you would seek to accomplish as an athlete? Maybe it's leading your team in scoring. Maybe it's shooting the ball, going from 30 to 40%. Maybe it's going from someone who's on the bench to someone who's an impact starter. Maybe it's someone who's a starter and you're looking to start earning accolades, start getting recognition greater than just your school level. Whatever the case may be, I need you to see yourself with a super consistency. To miss, to skip is something that is unfathomable to you. It's unbelievable. It's something that is not even in your vocabulary. And once we create this level of consistency, I want you to start to think about your level of creativity, how much you love the game, how much fun it is, how many off-script opportunities you get with the ball in your hand, whether it is sitting like you are now, listening to a meditation, or whether it's playing with friends, or whether it's in the gym by yourself, working on half-court shots and reverse layups, or it's in the gym by yourself, really getting a good workout in, but just imagining yourself going against your crosstown rival, or the toughest defender you've ever played against, or that NBA superstar, whatever the case may be. See yourself applying that creativity. And lastly, see yourself getting conscious. See yourself having a new level of awareness about who you are as a player and where you fit in the grand scheme of things. And where that is, if you don't like it, imagine yourself leveling up. And if you do like it, be all about it. Enjoy it. Go 10 toes down in that process of who you are, of becoming the person you are on that court. And so, as always, I hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, do all those things that are important on YouTube. And we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.